Hare Krishna, my friends. Welcome to our Friday night reading of Brahma Samhita in Bhaktiville. But before we get started, I just want to apologize for our somewhat erratic schedule lately. Life has been complicated. There have been challenges, but we're going to carry on, right? Being with devotees and chanting Hare Krishna are our lifelines. Now, let's continue to our reading. When we last met, we read texts 3 and 4. There were a lot of explanations and illustrations for these verses. You can see our Facebook page for links to the illustrations. While the text and subject matter can be a challenge, we continue to persevere. That's my thing. I will persevere. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta actually encouraged us in the purports to continue to chant, and these things will be revealed. Trusting in that, we will not give up. So here we go. We are on text 5. That's on page 19 of the PDF. But before we get started, let's offer our pranams and we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava. So, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namani. And please accept my obeisances personally. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripasindubhyeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So I'm going to sing Jai Radha Madhava and, put cotton in your ears if you can't stand it. But Prabhupada loved this song, and he said that everything is in this song. Everything is here. So and he would always sing this on the Sunday feast. He would sing this song, and it just is such a great one. All right, so we have the words up there on the board. You can follow along. We'll just sing it through once, call and response just once. All right? All right, here we go. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jabhalabha Givanatari Gopi Jabhalabha Givanatari Jasura Nandana Raja Jana Ranjana Asura Nandana Raja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari. It's all there. It's all there in that delightful song. All right. So we're on text 5. And Dr. Mimilis, remind me, please, what did we decide to do instead of going through word by word? You want me to sing it once and then you'll sing it once? Is that what we decided? He's thinking about it. It is kind of long. It's very long. I'll just sing it once, and then do word for word. How about that? Okay. All right. So I won't go through the pronunciation of each word, but I will do it slowly. All right. And this verse has, it's like 4 verses. So it'll be the regular 8 syllables and then 8 more syllables. And the next line is 8 syllables and 8 more syllables. So it won't be too hard to manage. All right? All right. Chaturasram tat parita Svetodvipakyam adbhutam Chatur asram chaturmurtish Chaturdama chatushkritam Chaturbhi purushartaischa Chaturbir hetubir vitam Shulair dasha virandam urdvado digvidikshvipapi ashtabir nitibir jushtam ashtabir siddhibistata manurupaischa dashabir dikpalai paritogritam Shamair Gaurascha Raktaischa Shuklaischa Parshadarshabai Shobitam Shakti Bistabir Adbhutabi Samantataha. Alright, synonyms. Chatu Asram, quadrangular place. So Chatu is 4. Chatur is 4. So there's a lot of 4s in this. So talked that, Gokula. When Gokula is here, the manifestation of Goloka here is called Gokula. Paritaha, surrounding. Sveta Dweep, the white island. Akyam, named. Adbhutam, mysterious. Chatu Asram, quadrangular. Chatu Murtehe, of the 4 primary expansions, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Chatu Dham, consisting of 4 abodes. Chatu Kritam, divided into 4 parts. Chaturbihi, by the 4. Purusha Artai, human requirements. Cha and Chaturbi, by the 4. Hetubihi, causes, or basis of achievement. Vritam, enveloped. Shulai, with tridents. Dashabhi, 10. Anandam, fixed. Urdhva Adha, upwards and downwards. The zenith and the nadir, so the going up and going down. Dik, in the directions, north, south, east, and west. Vidikshu, and in the intermediate directions, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. Api, also. Ashtabhi, with the 8. Nidibhi, jewels. Jushtam, endowed. Ashtabhi, with the 8. Siddhibhi, mystic perfections. Anima, Laghima, Prapti. Prakamya, Mahima, Ishitva, Vashitva, and Kamapasayata. Tata, also. Manurupai, in the form of mantras. Cha and Dashabhi, by 10. Dikpalai, protectors of the directions. Parita, There's really something in there. Paritaha, all around. Vritam, surrounded. Shyamai, blue. Gaudai, yellow. Cha and Raktai, red. Cha and Shuklai, white. Cha also. Parshada Rishabhai, with the topmost associates. Shobhitam, shining. Shaktibihi, with potencies. Tabihi, those. Adbhutabihi, extraordinary. Samantataha, on all sides. So, this verse is very technical, and some things I will address, and some things I will put off until next time, because it will come up again. So I'll read the verse through, and then I'll go back, and just in the verse, just comment on a couple of things. So, in brackets, he writes, the surrounding external plane of Gokula is described in this verse. End of bracket. So just talking about here on the on this planet. So there is a mysterious quadrangular place called Sveta Dweep, surrounding the outskirts of Gokula. Sveta Dweep is divided into 4 parts on all sides. The abode of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, are separately located in each of these four parts. These four divided abodes are enveloped by the fourfold human requirements, such as piety, wealth, passion, and liberation, and also by the four Vedas, namely Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva, which deal with the mantra and which are the basis of achievements of the fourfold mundane requirements. 10 tridents are fixed in the 10 directions, including the zenith and nadir, so up and down. The 8 directions are decorated with the 8 jewels of Mahapadma, Padma, Shankha, Makara, Kachapa, Mundaka, Kunda, and Nila. There are 10 protectors, Dikpalas, of the 10 directions in the form of mantra. The associates of the hues of blue, yellow, red, and white are the extraordinary potencies bearing the names of Bhimla, etc., and shine on all sides. So I just want to go back and just comment before the purport, before Bhaktisiddhanta gives his purport. I am not going to address tonight the quadrangular place of Svetadweep or Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha because there are 2 manifestations of both of those things, so we'll hold that off until he gets to that later. The fourfold mundane requirements are Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha, which he, right above, translates as piety, wealth, passion, and liberation. The 8, I am going to look at the directions and the tridents. I did not address the jewels. I do have the 10 protectors. All right, so some things I'm leaving out and some things we're going to look at because they're talked about later on. All right, purport. Primarily, Gokula is the seat of transcendental love and devotion. Hence, Yamuna, Sri Govardhan, Sri Radhakund, etc. of the terrestrial Rajamandala lie within Gokula. Again, all the majesties of Vaikuntha are manifested there, extending in all directions. The pastimes of the 4 propagating manifestations are all there in their proper places. The Paravyoma, the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, has got its extension from the display of the 4 propagating manifestations. And there he's referring to Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Salvation as of Vaikuntha and piety, wealth, and passion pertaining to worldly people are in the proper places in Gokula as their original seed, as their primary cause. The Vedas also are engaged in singing the song of the Lord of Gokula. There are 10 tridents in 10 directions to prevent and disappoint those who are aspiring for having an entrance into Goloka through meditations without the grace of Krishna. So I'm going to stop right there and forward the slideshow a bit to a slide that I made for this 10 directions. So I drew one up, but it didn't come into Second Life very clearly. So this is a little bit more clear about the 10 directions. So the 10 directions are, as we just read, the 4 cardinal directions, and then the ones in between, and then up and down. So there are 8 on the compass, but then in Vedic or in Indian philosophy, they look at also they include up and down. So they've got X, Y, and Z in their mapping of the world. For those of you who remember that from geometry and algebra, X, Y, and Z. So I'm trying to pull up my version of what's on the board. I apologize, I didn't open that. But anyway, so each direction has a person who's in charge of that direction, and they have a weapon. And what I put up on the board, I tried to include their vahana, how they got around. I couldn't find a vahana for all of them, but in the north is Kubra, god of wealth, and his weapon is the mace. And northeast is Ishana, a form of Shiva, and his weapon is a trident. And in the east is Indra, and Vraja is his weapon, a thunderbolt. The southeast is Agni, and his weapon is a spear. And in the south is Yamaraj, who rides a buffalo, and his weapon is a club. And in the southwest is Mriti, who's a Raksha, has a sword. And in the west is Varuna, who has a noose. In the northwest is Vayu, who has a goad, a thing for prodding animals on. And then up is Brahma, and his weapon is a lotus. I don't know, that doesn't sound too horrible. And going down is Bhudevi, or Shesha. Shesha has a chakra. And those colors that are up there are their predominant colors. I did not include the gems. I couldn't find any site who could say for certain that was the right gem, so I just left that part out. Anyway, 10 directions, and those are their weapons. So it's interesting to have those weapons in mind, because he says there are 10 tridents, so 10 weapons in 10 directions, to prevent and disappoint those who are aspirants for having an entrance into Goloka through meditations without the grace of Krishna. Self-conceited people who try to reach this region through the paths of yoga, meditation, and jnana, empiric knowledge, are baffled in their attempts, being pierced by the 10 tridents. Self-annihilation has its excellence in Brahmadam, which represents the outside covering of Goloka in the shape of tridents. Shula means trident. The mundane threefold attributes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and the threefold divisions of time, past, present, and future, represent the trident. Ashtanga yogis, ascetics who practice the eightfold yoga, are the non-differentiative liberationists. So those who think it's all one, they don't differentiate. They are trying to approach in the direction of Goloka. They fall headlong into the pits of disappointment by being pierced and cut asunder by these tridents placed in the tenfold directions. So that eightfold yoga, I've met people who are trying this eightfold yoga. So it's yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So ethics, discipline, postures, breath control, sense withdrawal, concentration, meditation, and samadhi, blissful union. So really, any current devotee would know that that's completely ridiculous. You can't do any of those things these days because so many things are going on in the world, and it's just not advantageous to try that right now. So they are disappointed by those tridents in those 10 directions. Those who proceed towards the direction of Goloka through the channel of devotion, alloyed with majestic ideas, are fascinated with the charms of Vaikuntha, which is the outer covering plane of Sri Goloka, at the site of the 8 perfections, namely Anima. Actually, I have a list of them. Of Anima, Mahima. Anima, Mahima. So those are the ones, you can reduce your body to the size of an atom, or you can expand your body to be infinitely large. You become weightless, lighter than air. You can be heavy or dense. You can gain anything you like in the world. You can get whatever you want. You're irresistible. You have control over all the material elements, and you have the power to subjugate or influence others. So those are the 8 perfections. So he's saying that these people run into these things and they get stuck. Oh, and the majesties. The majesties, a whole other list of stuff. Prosperity, massive wealth, courage and strength, treasures, healing, what else? Purity, beauty, all kinds of things that are wisdom, all kinds of things that are attractions, but not the goal. Like you're walking, whatever your thing is that you love so much, you're walking through a store of that, and you can't make it through because you're diverted. So that's what he's saying. These people are diverted. Those who are less forward in their intelligence relapse to the 7-fold world, falling under the control of the 10 protectors of the 10 directions in the guise of mantras. So in this way, Goloka has become unknowable and inaccessible. It is only the divine selves of Godhead, the propounders of the divine dispensations for the different ages, who are always forward there to favor the approaching devotees who seek entry into the realm of Goloka through the channel of pure devotional love. These divine forms of Godhead are surrounded there with attendants of their respective natures. Shvetadvip in Goloka is their place of abode. Hence, Srila Thakur Vrindavan, the manifest Vyas of Chaitanya Lila, has described the village of Navadvip as bearing the name of Shvetadvip. In this Shvetadvip, the concluding portions of the pastimes of Gokula exist eternally as the pastimes of Navadvip. Hence the region of Navadvip, Braja, and the realm of Goloka are one and the same indivisible entity. The difference only lies in the manifestations of the infinite variety of sentiments corresponding to the diverse nature of their devotional love. There is in this a most hidden principle which only the greatest souls who are possessed of the highest transcendental love are enabled to realize by the direct grace of Krishna. The truth is as follows. In this mundane world, there are 14 spheres disposed of in the graded order of high and low. Persons living with wives and children, hankering for the pleasure-giving effect of their fruitive actions, move up and down within the limits of the three worlds of Bhu, Vaha, Swaha. So let's just stop for a second because I have a slide up here. So I'm not sure if you can zoom in on that, Bhaktidas, Bhaktiville. It's also on this slide kind of behind me to the right. We'll put a link there in Facebook and on our YouTube. Oh, you were? Okay. So that bottom part of the larger chart is what I want to look at. So he talked about he mentioned the 14 worlds. So we here living on Earth are there at number 7, Bur. We're in the middle. So there are 6 above us and 7 below us. So they're altogether, there are 14 systems of planets. The beginning of, and we looked at the Gayatri mantra last time, and it starts out with Om Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha. So those are the planets right there. Om Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha. So that's what he's referring to when he's talking about the mantra. Get back to my book here. All right, the 14 spheres in the graded order of high and low. Okay, so brahmacharis of great austerities, ascetics, and persons addicted to hypothetical truth, persons of a neutral disposition, adopting non-fruitive works by an aptitude which seeks to be free from all mundane desires, move up and down within the limits of the worlds of Maha, Jana, Tapa, and Satya. Above these worlds lies the abode of four-headed Brahma, above which lies the unlimited realm of Vaikuntha, or Vaikuntha of Vishnu, Kshirodakshai, lying on the ocean of milk. Paramahamsa sannyasis and the demons killed by Sri Hari, by crossing Viraja, that is, by passing beyond the 14 worlds, enter into the luminous realm of Brahman and attain to nirvana in the form of temporary abeyance of the temporal ego. So that is not on this slide, but it is on the chart behind me. I should walk over there and look at it. Let me just walk over there. So what he's speaking about is, I'm going to jump up on this box. See if I can get up there. No. So above where it says one universe, we're kind of up in that area now in his comments. We're up in that area and we're starting to move up into the next area, the Brahmajyoti. So these are all really, this is the representation of Vaishnava cosmology. And I bring it up because he's bringing it up, but I think it's also important to know where we are in all of this. Whether it's not stacked up exactly like this, right? This is a representation of it. But it's important to know where we are in all of this. We are in the middle of all of these planets in a very, I don't want to say it is auspicious, but in a very, what is the word I'm looking for, Bhaktiville? In a place where spiritual life is readily accessible. We have Gokula, we have Lord Chaitanya, we have Srila Prabhupada, we have the Maha Mantra, We have all these advantages. We don't need to get caught up in this diagram, but it is, I still think, important to know where we are in all of that. And we'll get into it as we get further along here in the Brahma Samhita, because he does get into it some more. So let me... Okay. So we just looked at the 14 worlds, the luminous realm of Brahman, to attain nirvana. But the devotee, actuated by knowledge, jnana bhakta, the devotee actuated by the pure devotional aptitude, shuddha bhakta, the devotee imbued with loving devotion, prema bhakta, the devotee actuated by pure love, prema pada bhakta, and the devotee impelled, pushed by overwhelming love, prema tura bhakta, who serve the majesty of Godhead, have their locations in Vaikuntha, the transcendental realm of Sri Narayan. Is that where we want to go? Do we want to go to the abode of Sri Narayan? No, not really. The abode of Sri Narayan, everybody has 4 arms and live that way. So we want this next sentence. The devotees who are imbued with all love and who walk in the footsteps of the spiritual maids of Braj alone attain to the realm of Goloka. The different locations of the devotees in Goloka, according to the respective differences in the nature of their rasa, i.e. their mellow quality, are settled by the inconceivable power of Krishna. So let me just stop for a moment. Respective differences in the nature of their rasa. So we each have our own inherent nature, and that is our relationship with Krishna. Everyone is different. Every quadrillion, however many uncountable people there are, spirit souls that there are, everyone is different. All right, so that's what he's referring to here. The different locations of the devotees in Goloka, the planet of Krishna, according to the respective differences in the nature of their rasa, are settled by the inconceivable power of Krishna. The pure devotees follow the devotees of Braj, and those following the pure devotees of Navadvip are located in the realm of Krishna and Gora, respectively. The identical devotees of Braj and Navadvip simultaneously attain to the pleasures of service in the realm of Krishna and Gora. Sri Jiva Goswami writes in his work, Gopala Champu, that, quote, the supreme transcendental realm is called Goloka, being the abode of Go, transcendental cows, and Gopa, transcendental cowherds. This is the seat of the rasa pastimes of the absolute Sri Krishna. Again, the realm is called Shveta Dvipa, owing to the realization of some of the rasas, which are the inconceivable manifestation derived from the untouched purity of that supreme realm. The twofold entities of the supreme Goloka and the supreme Shvetadvip are indivisibly the realm of Goloka, end quote. The gist of the whole matter is this. Goloka, as Shvetadvip, is eternally manifest because the pleasures of enjoyment of the rasa could not be had in its entirety in the pastimes of Krishna in Braj. Here, he accepts the emotion and effulgence of his predominated moiety, the 2 parts, Shiradika, and makes an eternal pastime for the enjoyment of Krishna rasa there. Sri Krishna Chandra means moon, so Krishna Chandra, like glowing like the moon, Krishna Chandra, coveted to taste the following pleasures, that is, to realize 1, the nature of the greatness of love of Sri Radha, 2, the nature of the wonderful sweetness of his love, of which Sri Radhika has got the taste, and 3, the nature of the exquisite joy that accrues to Sri Radha by her realization of the sweetness of his love, and took her birth like the moon in the ocean of the womb of Sri Shachi Devi. So he's referring to Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Chandra. The esoteric desire of Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu is herein made manifest. So Jiva Goswami, one of the Goswamis during Lord Chaitanya's time, and who has written so much about our philosophy. You think this is a little bit thick? Read his stuff. Very thick, very philosophical, amazing stuff. Anyway, it is the esoteric desire of Sri Jiva Goswami, and it is herein made manifest. In the Veda, it is also said, quote, "Let me tell you the mystery. In Navadvip, the identical realm of Goloka, on the bank of the Ganges, Gaura Chandra, who is Govinda, the entity of pure cognition, who has 2 hands, who is the soul of all souls, who has the supreme great personality as the great meditative sannyasin, and who is beyond the 3-fold mundane attributes, makes the process of pure unalloyed devotion manifest in this mundane world. He is soul Godhead. He is the source of all forms, the Supreme Soul, and is Godhead manifesting himself in yellow, red, blue, and white colors. He is the direct entity of pure cognition, full of the spiritual chit potency. He is the figure of the devotee. He is the bestower of devotion, and cognizable by devotion alone. The self-same Gaur Chandra, who is no other than Krishna himself, in order to taste the rasa of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Goloka, is manifest in the internal realm of Navadvip, identical with Goloka, end quote. So the yellow, red, blue, and white, those are the colors of Krishna's various manifestations. So whenever you see those things, those 4 colors listed, that's what they're referring to. Krishna's different pastimes. So this is also clear from the Vedic declarations. For example, Asan Varnas Trayaha. So those are the 3 classes. The white, red, yellow. Krishna Varnam Trisa Krishnam. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. Yata Pasya Pasyati Rukmavarnam. As a seer sees something golden. Mahan Prabhu, this is from Sri Dashvatara Upanishad, 3.12. Indeed, he is the great Lord. And various other statements of the theistic scriptures. So here in this sentence, he's bringing in all of these different scriptures to support what he has quoted above. So that's what that is. He's bringing all these different things in. So just as Sri Krishna had his birth in the mundane Gokula through the agency of Yogamaya, who is the primal energy of the Supreme Lord, so with her help, he manifests the Leela of his birth in the womb of Shachi Devi in Navadvip on this mundane plane. These are the absolute truths of spiritual science, and not the outcome of imaginary speculation under the thraldom of the deluding energy of Godhead. We're just right on time here. So there you have it. Verse 5. Lots of information packed in there, and we didn't really even look at all of it. But trust me, we will get to all of it in the next verses to come. Any comments, Bhaktiville? Yes, I agree. And he says that. He says as much there in his purport. He says those people who are a devotee who is actuated by knowledge are only going to get to a location in Vaikuntha. They will not have access to Goloka. You have to be imbued with all love and who walk in the footsteps of the cowherd maidens. They're stopping people who are practicing wrongly. Their spiritual endeavors will not come to fruition because they're practicing incorrectly. So they're not allowing them out. That's what's happening. It's like, nope, you haven't got it right. Go back, go back and try it again. So that's what they're doing. They're protecting those directions, not letting people leave because they haven't done their homework. They have to stay after. Mm. Yeah. Mm. But I think just the fact that you're sitting here and you're studying this, that you may be getting tired, but Krishna's not going to let you stop. He can see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Krishna's got a hold on you. Yeah. So, whether we decide to stop or not, how far we've gone is never lost. But your point, part of what you were saying was maybe that's just not in your makeup. That you weren't created this way. to pursue Goloka Vrindavan. Maybe you were created to go to a Vaikuntha planet. But the thing is, you wouldn't be here if that were true. That's excellent. Why did I laugh? That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, the thing is that if it's not in opposition to what Prabhupada says, don't worry about it. But let me just say, there are people who are made to go to Vaikuntha. I can think of, Mormons especially. They're part of their faith setup is that they have their own planet with their family, and that's exactly what Vaikuntha is. Exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the place. But the thing is that devotees, our Vaishnava philosophy given to us by Srila Prabhupada and all the Sampradaya, we have all these people behind Srila Prabhupada. They are giving us this wonderful, wonderful philosophy and imagery and relationship and how to develop that relationship. And it just goes on and on and on, and it's so sweet. All of it is sweet. There's that son, Madhurashtakam. His face is sweet, his smile is sweet, his eyes are sweet. Everything about No, it's a song. It's a song written by Bhavacharya. And it's what is the song? Yeah. Madhuradipate akilam madhuram. And it just goes, it's like 8 verses, and it goes through. His hair is sweet, his smile is sweet, his feet are sweet. Everything about it, everything is sweet about the King of Sweetness. And it just goes on and on. It's the most wonderful song. But it is. Everything is sweet. Everything is sweet. And rasa is sweet. Juice. Rasa is juice. Sweet juice, like a gulab. Anyway, my friend, we've taken up more than our 45 minutes. Okay. All right, thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.